And we begin with breaking news. Israeli warplanes have launched dozens of airstrikes on cities across Gaza. There have been explosions in several areas of the territory, with reports of at least 80 Palestinians killed, according to medics. We can go live to Cairo now, and our Gaza correspondent, Rushdie Abu Alouf, is joining us. Rushdie, get us up to speed with the latest from what you're hearing.
Yeah, airstrikes are continue less intensive as they started at 2 o'clock in the morning. The latest number from the Gaza civil defense spokesman, he said at least 86 people were killed and over 150 people were injured. Some of the images from the 4 or 5 hospitals that is receiving a huge number of injured and dead people. Doctors are struggling to cope with the number of people who were, rushed to the hospital. I've seen some images of doctors treating people on the ground in the corridors of the hospitals, with some local official suggesting over 100 people were killed, but still the confirmed number by the Gaza Civil Defense is 86 people, which include a senior Hamas security official. He's the guy in charge of the security apparatus in Gaza. He's the deputy foreign minister. He was among those killed in an airstrike along with his family in Gaza City. Another 2 senior police officers were killed in Rafah, and the airstrikes continue, especially in the area of Khan Yunis. About 5 minutes ago, there was the latest airstrike hit a house in Khan Yunis and killed about 13 people, according to local people in the south.
Rushdie, we know that ceasefire talks had been stalled, and there had been accusations on both sides that the other party had broken the agreements. Did these airstrikes come as a surprise, though?
It was a surprise for the people of Gaza, but I don't think it was a surprise for Hamas. I met Hamas, I spoke to a Hamas senior official 2 days ago, and they were expecting some sort of Israeli escalation, as he said, and they said they were declaring a state of war in Gaza since 48 hours. We knew that Egypt here were inviting Hamas leadership into Cairo, and they were trying to push Israel and Hamas to agree to renew to extend the ceasefire, which the last round in Doha lasted for 72 hours, and it failed to renew the ceasefire. For the people of Gaza, the Israel didn't allow any aid into Gaza for the last 2 weeks, and they were already struggling to cope with the shortage of electricity, water, and food. And as of 2 o'clock in the morning today, they were also hearing explosions everywhere across Gaza. It started at 2 o'clock exactly Gaza time, with an airstrike in the north in Gaza City, then expanding into the south, Khan Yunis and Rafah, and explosions were everywhere. And the medical situation in Gaza is at the edge of catastrophic, and hospitals were in a very difficult shape. They were struggling to cope with the number of injuries, and people who have access to social media posting appeals calling for ambulances to reach some certain area where the airstrike struck houses, schools, housing displaced people. According to Hamas-run Interior Ministry statement, they said mosques and also more than 10 houses were hit by Israeli airstrikes.
Rushdie, we know that the Palestinian people in Gaza are the ones that are bearing the brunt of a lot of the attacks and these latest airstrikes from Israel. What else is Hamas saying about how they expected? How are they expecting to respond to this, given that they were anticipating it, as you said?
I've seen at least 2 statements from Hamas. The first statement was saying that Mr. Netanyahu bear full responsibility for what they called the new Israeli massacres in Gaza. The statement said. The second statement, just 5 minutes ago, the Hamas official Sami Abu Zuhri said that they are conducting urgent contacts with the mediators in Qatar and Egypt to try to put pressure on Israel. They asked the Egyptian and the Qataris to put pressure on Israel to stop the escalation in Gaza, and they are saying that Israel is fully responsible for this latest of escalation, as the Hamas spokesman said.
And tell us more about the Israeli side of things. So what are they saying is their justification for these airstrikes?
Well, there is a statement from Israel saying that they are targeting Hamas commanders and Hamas leaders across Gaza. Well, we are aware of some houses belong to Hamas have been targeted. Israel said that Hamas is trying to regroup and they are recruiting militants. They said, we have seen some reports that Israel said Hamas was recruiting 5,000 new militants into Gaza, and we understand from some Hamas sources and some local sources that Hamas was, for the last 48 hours, was trying to go in hiding some of the people who were publicly moving on the ground in Gaza since 19th of January, the beginning of the ceasefire. They got into hiding, so Hamas was expecting some kind of Israeli targeting their people inside Gaza. And as I said, Israel always accused Hamas of regrouping and re-establishing its military capability.